Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz. It is November 10, 2019. It's 12:03 a.m. Birmingham. And topic, I've got an idea how to clean up the great garbage patch, that plastic patch that's in the Pacific. In reality, I believe if you look closely, there are no less than 5 or 6 of those giant garbage patches. And the largest one, I don't believe, is in the Pacific. But 90% of that in the Pacific comes off of from Thailand to China. That's where all that plastic comes from. But here's the point. When I was 19 years old, I was a machine operator. I volunteered to operate a brand new machine that I had to train on. No one's ever used it before in my industry, and I worked for St. Regis Flexible Package Division. Back in that day, St. Regis paper, writing paper, is what most schools used. So they got bigger and they invested in flexible package. Plastics used for meat, for bread, for Coke bottles, and different things like that. So, my job, I would take feeder plastic, it's plastic trimmed off giant rolls. They'd get a contract from a largest bakery in Birmingham, about 4 to 6 tons of plastic about every other week. And they would specify the size. And it may be a 9-foot long roll, but it's cut down into 18-inch wide pieces and, a mile and a half, 2 miles long, and that's how they'd roll it up. But the trimming down, the excess would be blown into a pipe, and it would blow right over into a box by the machine that I was using. Well, every time I would use the machine, empty the plastic, I'd go to that box and shove it down into a compressor. It just kept packing it till it was really tightly packed. It'd weigh a couple of 100 pounds, maybe a little more. Well, this machine, 8 foot tall roughly, at the base on the interior, would be 4 foot wide. And it had a 26,000 RPM blade that's turning. I mean, this thing would wound up tight. It's scary. But the point, when I would dump that plastic into it, it'd take about 30 seconds to a minute to turn that 300 pounds or so of plastic into a liquid white ball. It looked like lava, but it was white and it was red hot. I mean, it was melted. It was liquid plastic. It'd roll on that blade. At the right moment, I'd have to hit a release. This release would dump 5 or 7 gallons of water in on it. And that water would hit it, instantly start chilling the ball and making it hard, and then it starts breaking up. Pop that release again, and another 5 or 7 gallons come out, and it break it up further. Still, I got to hit it a third time, because if you wait too long, like additional 8 or 9 seconds, then you've recreated a molten ball. So after about 21 gallons of water, you now have plastic beads, 1/8 of an inch diameter white beads in the bottom of this machine that's rolling in this blade. And if I wait 15 seconds, it's going to start molding or melting again. I'd hit that release. It'd kick it out a side chute into a large box, a box before. Fill that box up, kick it out of the way, and I was at the top of the machine, but there was chutes that control which way it would go. But anyway, get it out quick enough, And then this is plastic that's going to be recycled, all that came out. The same thing that you used to package for your garbage pickup service. You'd have plastics in a bag, you'd have glass in a bag, you'd have tin cans or aluminum cans in a bag, and paper in a bag. Well, Birmingham, for some reason, stopped doing that. And what it is, the companies that were recycling it didn't get enough, how do you put it? There wasn't enough people doing it, because if they had enough, they stayed in business and could make a lot of money. Here's the point. Take one of these Japanese whaling ships. You know how that front door will fold down? Fold one down and let there be a 40-foot wide conveyor belt rolling. And it's going to roll right on to the back of that ship and hit that plastic. You're steering a ship through the garbage patch, rolling this plastic up, and it tucks it in back of the ship until the ship is full. They have means, or they could have means of compressing it so you wouldn't have 30,000 or 50,000 tons of plastic. You'd have 2 or 3 times that of plastic because you've compressed it. You got enough, you head ashore, you dump it off and get paid a few $1,000,000 and head back out. That's recycled plastic, and that's how they do it. Different people use different means. Some companies use heat by steam, and some people add graphite to it. Some people add other metals. This is how you got the metal that a lot of these jet planes that flies at 10 or 12, 15 miles high that you can't see on radar. It's got some of that same plastic in it that maybe a month ago you were drinking out of a Pepsi jug or bottle and tossed it in the trash. But the point is, someone could invest in one of the ships or 2 of the ships, and they'd become billionaires in a short time and get this garbage patch cleaned up out of the Pacific and these other, at least 5 other garbage patches around the world. Why don't they do that? Really, why don't someone do that? It's just a thought, something I have been thinking about for a long time. And there you go. Tell somebody. Jody Wolf Expoz.